dose of Big D energy.
And welcome to Big D Energy.
Big D!
Live on Woodward Sports and woodwardsports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule today. That is four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty sitting to my left. Old Cotton Hands Gentry in the sound booth today. How you doing today, Cotton Hands?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And of course, Mr. Spencer.
Hello.
Raxter in the TD booth. Thank you for being a part of the show today. A lot of stuff to discuss. Just reading over the rundown that Spenny put together. Can we free J-Mo, please? That's something we're going to be discussing later. Stick hates golf. I think... I don't know why that's on there.
Yeah,
we will be discussing Jared Goff at length today and your haterism of him.
Hold on. That was a little projecting, Spenny.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's good. See, self-awareness. Now we can move on. HR steps in.
Is there even a point of watching the Pistons anymore is also what you put on the prep sheet. So we need to talk about that today.
Hell no.
And, just before the show started, Draymond Green last night throwing a haymaker was like a fake haymaker, but a real haymaker. And, he's from Michigan State, so it's kind of a local story. But I don't think there's any better person on the planet to discuss that kind of shot with than the guy right here, Darren McCarty. Darren, did you see Draymond Green last night?
No.
You did not. You didn't see it. Spenny, do you think you can pull up that video?
Yeah, I can try to find a video.
Break it down for me. I'm familiar with their friend Draymond.
Yeah, Draymond, a little bit of a live wire.
Sagging awesome.
Known to punch a teammate or two. That's okay. Jordan Poole. So last night during the game, the guy behind him was holding on to him, and he acted like he was pulling away from the guy. But while he was pulling away, he throws this closed hand fist, not really a punch, but kind of like a half punch thing. And to me, it was about as flagrant as a foul as you're going to get. And it was just like, what the hell goes through a guy's mind like this? And if it wasn't Draymond Green, it'd be like, okay, that's a nice one-off. But Draymond is going batshit crazy right now, and I don't know why.
Seems like every time we're on a show together, we have this conversation about being punched in the face.
Right? There's nobody else I want to talk to about that stuff.
But I understand. But this goes deeper, right? Because and what I mean by that is the fact that until you've been punched in the face, right? Do you really know? Now, when you bring it up, Stick, so I'm just going to break it down right now, because the fact that you yourself, working through Detroit in the industry and stuff, have seen your fair share of fisticuffs.
Yes.
You've been in your have not backed down from it. So you know what a punch looks like. In a situation where you've been in many liable situations, probably 2 a.m. or so, emotions may be running a little high.
Agreed.
Might not be on a basketball court, but the same thing at closing time, A lot of people are a little pent up when you take their last cocktail away, right, Spenny?
When the ugly lights come on.
We got the
All right,
video.
but
Yeah,
I
watch
will
this
say,
video, D-Mac.
You already told me what I need to know, but I will take a look at this, and oh my God. Okay, in wrestling, Chris Jericho's finishers, the Judas effect, where he takes the elbow and he swings it around and hammers a guy.
Oof. Thank you, TNT Sports, for that.
Wow, that was, but see the way he landed it? Like, he didn't extend it, but he landed it on the button.
He was saying that
And
was
it's
just a
Draymond
natural.
Green.
He was just saying that was his natural arm movement trying to break away from being touched.
Okay.
No way in hell was that natural.
No, did he get a flagrant and kicked out?
He got kicked out of the game. But I mean, to me, that's looking like suspension.
That was worse than the chokehold from behind on Rudy Gobert. Was that who he did it
Yeah.
to? The chokehold or whatever like that looked less flagrant than that punch.
Got to give a shout out to the chat. Lorena, that looks like Spenny in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
When you and Anson and Easy got in a squabble.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that story?
Oh, yeah.
Spenny, I guess, Anson told me the story the next day, and Spenny just came out of nowhere, I guess, and just started clearing bodies.
Absolutely.
Like, it was a
He'd
fight
had
till
enough.
this guy stepped in. Right.
No, you understand that, where it's like, all right, enough messing around. Oh, okay, you want to take it to the next level? We'll take it to the next level.
Yeah. But yeah, Draymond Green last night, trying to play that off as that was not intentional, that's about as disingenuous as you're going to get.
Yeah, he's got no, and it's not like his track record he can stand on. You know, he's going to plead his case.
And that's the thing. Like, you were a watched man, D-Max, so you got to be a little more calculated when you want to do stuff like that, right?
But you know what? I was well respected, though.
Yeah.
Because I was, like, considered one of those guys that played it to the line. I mean, if I took it over the line, which I did, because kids out there do never knee a guy in the head in a hockey game, except in the Claude Lemieux incidents. It was just because he drew first blood. That was a whole different situation. But again, I got respect because I played as hard to the line as against it. Guys like that. This is more of a, a Brad Marchand move. Like a guy who's known as a rat or a cheap shot player. You might expect something like this out of a Kachuk, right? In the hockey circle. I would have liked to seen that retaliation on Joseph the other night by one of our guys. So Draymond knows what he's doing. It's he's got a role to play also too. So how many games do you think? Is that like an 8-10 game?
It's got to be at least 5, right?
Probably 5.
At least 5.
Didn't he get 5 for the choke?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he's getting more.
There's another 5. When you were talking about you kneeing a certain Claude Lemieux in the head, it brought me back to when you and Claude Lemieux sat down and rewatched that fight and rewatched that game.
That was so dope.
It was probably one of the coolest experiences. And during that whole conversation, one thing that really stuck out to me was that Lemieux doesn't remember playing in the game after that. Remember? He's like, wait, I came back into that game?
Well, it's like when I retell the story and I tell everybody the irony is I'm a lefty, and then when I popped out of that pile and I pulled my right hand back, every man, woman, child, grandma, grandpa, Ona, Opa, little baby, kitty, puppy, whatever, was in my fist.
Yep.
And I hit him so hard, I turned him into a turtle. And Claude even says, I didn't turtle, bro. I'm like, what? And he goes, I was knocked out. He says, that's the hardest I've ever been hit. And I was like, well, thank God. I can't hit you any harder, but that's just one of those like stories. But again, that took 25 years,
right,
to be able to
talk
sit down and to
it.
be able to sit through it. And the great thing about it, Stick, is for everybody that lived through it, just to hear the life. Now it brought the whole life and the effects and everything else. And the best part is that he realizes where he fucked up and that he didn't apologize. And that's the whole thing. Is this really anything like that? No, because of the drama and the gravity and stuff like that. But to me, it's more Draymond being Draymond. It's just what will the league tolerate, because this ain't like if we saw this, Stick, when we were growing up 20 years ago or 30, now it's 30 years ago.
That was normal.
Now it's 30 years ago. That was every night.
Yeah.
Somebody was throwing a punch, throwing a push.
That's Robert Parrish on Bill Laimbeer. That's just how it went down.
Some of the right, but usually what's happening is it's the great teams.
And did you see the interview that Rasheed Wallace blames himself for Draymond?
Really?
Yeah.
No,
and
I did not.
Same with I think it was Bill Laimbeer or Rick Mahorn. They blame themselves for Draymond.
In what capacity?
Because he grew up watching them.
Oh.
And he was like, he saw us beating the shit out of people all the time. And Draymond used to go to Bad Boys practice when he was young, and he went to those later teams Pistons practices, and he's like, he saw us in practice fighting each other, and so he was like, it's kind of our fault that he plays that way.
I mean, listen, I prided myself on playing like Dennis Rodman when I was a kid, because I wasn't the most athletic, but I played as hard as I could and put as much pressure and force as I could on my opponents when I played basketball, because I was not a good basketball player, but I liked the Bad Boys, and you saw Bill Laimbeer out there doing it, and you figured you could get physical with guys too.
Well, it's evolution to the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the guys that I grew up watching playing, the Probies, the Rick Tockett's, the different guys like that. But the game changes. So that's the one thing is, Draymond's playing that style, but at the end of his career, it's sort of like the game's evolved. Now it's the blasphemy of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He got touched.
No, it's like if you're watching, go watch any 90s basketball. And the best players, right? Like we're talking the Pistons at the late 80s, early 90s, the Celtics, the Lakers. Like there was like this hatred. And I think it was all throughout sports though, right? Even as a fandom, you could truly hate. Can you truly hate another team right now?
I don't think you're allowed to.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
right.
to get right. Great point, Stick. I don't think you're allowed to.
It was Rasheed Wallace. He said the 04 Pistons, it's their fault because Draymond was a child of someone in the front office or a nephew of someone in the front office. So he'd come to their practices and see how they practiced.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I was going to say, like, that's the last physical team there was because they changed the rules after 04, right? No more hand checking. So that's the last time you could be a physical force. And if that's what inspired Draymond, good for him. But what would you call that? A sucker punch or a cold cock, D-Mac?
That wasn't a cold cock. That was more of a roundabout sucker coming out of nowhere.
A tornado.
Windmill, tornado. But and the whole thing, right? Look at the way, if you watch the play, he wasn't even being held. Like it was like one arm like this, and he's doing the flop. We do that on the ice when a guy sort of you see behind the play, you're tied up with a D-man, then he's pulling me down.
Yeah.
Or how many times you see that? No, that was a flagrant sucker punch.
Yeah, Draymond went full Draymond last night, and eventually it'll catch up to him, and it cost his team a championship one year by kicking people in the nuts so many times. Remember that?
It looked more like a working wrestling punch than it did a like hockey knockout
Well, that thing
punch.
Landed. It took down that big dude, whoever the hell that dude was.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, it took him down.
He's Bosnian too, so he can take a punch.
He's tough.
Yeah,
he's tough. So wanted to talk about that to kick off the show. We got to talk about Hendon Hooker. And we got to talk about Jared Goff coming up next. This is a conversation that I think is ridiculous that we're even having it. But, there's people that exist in the world like Mr. Spencer Raxter. He walks the earth. He walks around like he knows football, and then he'll call for a Hendon Hooker to start. And we'll get into that.
When?
Huh?
When?
You and your boy Easy.
Not this year.
So who do you want instead of Goff right now?
Nobody. We both said that Goff is our best chance to win right now.
Oh, good. Okay, so you guys are actually starting to get some common sense.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's not trash.
We'll talk about that coming up next, but why don't you tell us about Dispo, D-Mac?
Absolutely. Experience the Dispo difference this Christmas season. Dispo is giving away a TV. Yeah, a TV as well as two $100 in-store gift cards per week at participating location. No, he does it like the Dispo family. Unwrap the joy of Dispo Dispensary every week. Join them in celebrating for the holidays. See store for more details. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com. Your local cannabis plug.
What about Jack Labrador?
Oh, man, I wish I had like one of those deep voices to read this. Like,
Jack
born in the
Labrador.
cold of a winter basement in Detroit. Three buddies wanting more out of paper, rock, scissors. They dug deep and struck gold with Jack Labrador. With two new symbols and a 3-point play. Once you go Jack, you'll never go back. One deck of cards, 3 new games, non-stop action. Scan the QR code right now.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports as Spenny's new favorite long drink. Yes, it'll be Saturday night this week. Saturday night down in Shed 5. Gonna be a bash, Eastern Market. Do it up like a VIP. They flex the game. Sunday night game. Oh my gosh, can you get at it?
Saturday
What
night,
kind
baby.
of game is this? Now, Bullseye Event Group downtown, which you can go bullseyeeventgroup.com to get your tickets. Food, beverage, entertainment. All that, whatever you need, Woodward Sports will be down there. Nick's usually down there. Kool-Aid's usually down there getting it. So make sure you're down at Shed 5 in Eastern Market today. If you want free tickets, also subscribe to Woodward Sports, our YouTube or Instagram, direct message Lions VIP.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Don Mecca down there, too, at that
Don.
event. Don Mecca's the man. Welcome back to Woodward Sports. My name is Stick, filling in on BDE. Neal Rule is out today and tomorrow, so I'll be here tomorrow as well, along with Darren McCarty, Michael Gentry, and, of course, Spencer Raxter.
Oh, yeah.
Spenny, I want to throw something at you.
Okay, I'll catch it.
I know you will, because you never fumble the bag.
true.
That's just how you roll.
Thank you.
Jared Goff. I'm getting a lot of Jim Caldwell vibes about what his role is in this Lions organization right now.
Okay.
And I was a Jim Caldwell guy.
Yeah, I
and
like Jim Caldwell.
And I'm a Jared Goff guy.
I love Jim Caldwell.
I love Jim Caldwell. I thought he gave us the best Lions teams that we had seen in a long time, gave us 2 playoff appearances, didn't get a playoff win or a division win, but got us to the show twice.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think that's a very, very good thing for the Detroit Lions organization, because as you know, if you get in the fight, you have a chance to win the fight, and it's all about getting in the playoffs. I'm looking at Jared Goff as kind of the same as Jim Caldwell right now, and how he's being treated by not only fans, but kind of by the media. Is Jared Goff's the guy that's getting us there right now. He's the guy that took us from 3-13 to 9-8 to now sitting at 9-4 with 4 games left. That is good, right?
That is good.
But people, what was the quote about Jim Caldwell before he left? 9-7's not good enough, right? Even though he had, I believe, a 10-6 team in there, an 11-5 team in there, but 9-7 was not good enough. So they get rid of Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
Because 9-7 isn't good enough. This guy we don't think is good enough, even though he's delivered us 2 playoff appearances. Where did they go next?
Matt Patricia.
Gonna be awesome, the Patriots way, right? We brought in a Patriots GM. We bring in the Patriots coach. This is going to be better, because what I think we have right now isn't good enough, even though it's the best we've had in a long, long time. So this is my fear with
The best we've had in a long, long time.
For Caldwell, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Caldwell, that's what I'm
Okay,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
But Jared Goff is the best we've had in a long, long time.
No, Stafford's better than Jared Goff.
That's debatable.
No, it's not.
It is debatable, and we will get into that another time. I'm not talking about Stafford. What I'm talking about right now is the narrative that the guy that has taken you through this rebuild got you to potentially a #1 seed overall. Not going to happen, but he got you there early in the season. They're sitting 9-4, most likely going to win the division. I mean, come on, you see what's going on with the
gonna win the
Vikings
division,
now.
yeah.
You saw the Packers shit the bed. Are you scared to throw out this guy who's good and go get another Matt Patricia? Or do you think no matter what, the next guy they plug in is going to be a step forward?
I have faith in Brad Holmes. I trust in Brad Holmes to make the decision to bring in a guy that's better than that. We see it happen in the NFL all the time with guys like Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo. They move on and they find a better quarterback. It's not that Jared Goff isn't a good quarterback. He is a solid quarterback when everything around him is going perfectly. When everything around him is functioning perfectly, when it's 82 degrees outside, when there's nobody near him, when his wide receivers are in the exact spot on the exact route that they need to be, he'll throw them a wobbler and they'll catch it. I want a quarterback who can make plays for himself. I want a quarterback who, when some kind of thing breaks down in the pocket or anything, you can go out there and you can get a play yourself. That's what I need.
That's what you want.
That's what I
But
need.
you're not guaranteed to get it, are you?
You are guaranteed to get it. Because basically every other quarterback in the NFL can do that except for Jared Goff.
I disagree. There's no...
Did
okay.
you see Tommy DeVito and Will Levis going out there making plays for themselves?
For a game or two, yeah. And I saw the guy that was in Minnesota do it, too, Josh Dobbs, for a couple games. But then what happened? Life catches up with you. You go back to the bottom of the rung where you were.
Kind of like what's happening with Jared Goff right now.
Jared
like
Goff.
what's happening with
Jared Goff has
having
shown
9
you
turnovers.
I think
over
Jared
the
Goff
past
has
4
shown you
games.
over 30 games that the past
30
4 games.
I don't think 30 games.
What are they in their past 25 games? What's the record?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's pretty good.
winning.
It's good.
Okay. So that sample size doesn't matter to you, just the recent sample
I
size.
think Jared Goff as an entirety of
Yep.
what we saw him do in LA, from where he had flashes of playing good and then they pay him and he fell apart. I don't want to do the same exact thing here.
Yeah,
Where
it
he
was
has
7
flashes
years
of playing
ago.
good and then you pay him and he falls apart. Because Jared Goff is a quarterback that can win you games if everything around him is working perfectly. And if you pay him and extend him, you won't be able to afford to put everything around him to work
So
perfectly.
you don't want what Jared Goff did in LA?
No.
You don't want the Lions getting to a Super Bowl?
No, I mean, not with Jared
Okay.
Goff to lose it. Would you pay Jimmy Garoppolo?
What does Jimmy Garoppolo have to do with this conversation?
Would you pay Jimmy Garoppolo? He took
Jared
the
Goff's
49ers to
better
a Super
than-
Bowl. He took the 49ers to a
And
Super
how
Bowl.
have they done since they got rid of him?
Pretty good. Pretty damn good. They're the 1 seed in the NFC right now.
And how
They're
many
the
quarterbacks
favorite
did
to
they
win
have
the
to
Super
go
Bowl.
through? Did they
2.
sacrifice?
They went through 2.
And then how much did they give up for Trey Lance to replace Jimmy Garoppolo, and it didn't work?
Yeah, well, it
And then,
worked with Brock
then
Purdy.
they pulled a rabbit out of their ass by getting Brock Purdy, but that's not a guarantee. D-Mac?
Don't we have to let this play out? And doesn't it go down to if you trust Brad Holmes, then you trust that he knows? I get what Spenny's saying. Look at the evolution of the quarterback position in this league, right? You need that dual threat mobile guy, which is why everybody's so excited about Hendon Hooker, who hasn't played a game and is just, coming into practice, stuff like that, because of what he offers. You look around the league, and it's turning more so into, right, a guy that has to have his legs work, right? But in all fairness, I think it's 2 different questions here. Don't we have to just ride this out, let it see where it may, trust that Brad Holmes knows what's going on?
Yeah.
See, Spenny and Easy and that camp, right, believes that Goff is good enough to buffer us to the Super Bowl, but nothing in between. Yes, he can win a playoff game. Yes, he can.
Which
but
hasn't
he
happened
can't,
in 30 years.
Right. So
Right.
play it out. Let it play. You're talking 2 different questions. You're arguing
And I'm
2
okay
different
to
things.
let it play out, but I want to know where you're planting your flag in the sand, because
Why do you play your flag in the sand right now when the season's not done? You haven't even won the division. You
Because
haven't made
this
the
will-
playoffs.
this will
You haven't
dictate-
Goff hasn't proven that he's won this game yet, so you can't put that on his resume. Why don't we let it play out and see? The best part is you're not up against the salary cap or up against his contract to re-sign him. If you want, you can franchise it. You have club control. So you know what, Jared Goff, you have to play better. You have to prove if he's this guy. The way that the consistency that he's played over, right? He's the right guy for this team right now, but moving forward, is that true? I don't know. But this is your best chance to win right now. Now, do you trust Holmes that when the time comes, whether it's the offseason to whatever, whether it's Hendon Hooker or somebody else, do you not think that what you guys are all saying, the conversation between the coaching staff, isn't that too? We all watch the games. We all know what we have. But in saying that, we also don't know behind it. Jared Goff is the leader of this team right now.
Yep.
This 2023 football team going into 2024. Let's play this season out. Let's win this week. Hopefully things fall into place. We get in the play. Let's just wait and see. We don't have to. The luxury is you don't have to make these decisions that some other teams have to make at this point.
Yeah, honestly, the Lions don't even have to make a decision on Jared Goff
For
till
2
about
years.
this time next year.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's-
relax.
But it's a fun conversation to have, because I want to
Why-
know, once Jared Goff gets to the playoffs, wins a playoff game, I want to know who the doubters were.
But they're not
That-
down. But what time
Yeah,
out?
what?
Hold on. Am I not hearing it right? Spenny has been saying all along, Jared Goff will win you a playoff game. Jared Goff is your playoff. What he's saying is he will not bring you the trophy.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. So, but here's the thing, Stick. He's gonna, and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I would think that if he keeps progressing and wins, that it helps his cause about being here, unless they figure that they need to advance like every other team and implement or find that mobile quarterback. But right now, if you don't think this is Goff's team, then I can't help you.
No, it is Goff's
Because
team. But
Brad
what you're
Holmes
hearing
and Dan
is
Campbell tells you it is.
What you're hearing is they're not going to win. I've heard smart football people in this past week say that the Lions are not going to win another game because they have Jared Goff at quarterback.
Who said that?
What are smart football people? Whatever. Got people that played, people that have been there, people that just got out of the game, guys that, retired 50 years ago. Like, who are smart football guys? Like, here's the whole thing. Jared Goff's good. But is there, when we look around, and this is the whole thing, is when you don't have other teams have what you got, and you bring up DeVito, and you're always going to bring up the young guys, and look at Levis's arm, and we can't get J-Mo the just. And if I hear the
Patrick Mahomes comparison one more time, well, look what they did with the quarterback before Patrick Mahomes. Like, Mahomes is a unicorn. You're not going to just draft Patrick Mahomes out of nowhere, and you had to get a little bit lucky that the Bears passed on him too.
Sure.
So that's all. I'm just saying. In my head, we're looking at Jared Goff like Jim Caldwell. And my fear is making the change on a panic, on the sake of change, and winding up with Matt Patricia at quarterback.
So that's incorrect.
And that's a possibility.
No, that's wrong because you're acting like this organization operates like it used to. And it doesn't.
No,
you are.
No. What I'm acting like is the change for the sake of change is not always a positive thing, and it's been proven.
Do you think that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will make a change just for the sake of change, or they're going to make? No, they're not. That's why you can't.
And I'm also talking to the fans, though. Like the amount of chat talking about getting rid of Goff and how he's trash, and it's the guy that literally brought this team to something they've never done in 60 years. I don't put him in the trash category, and I never will.
It's not the same old Lions. It's the same old Lions fans. So accept that, and they don't talk. We
coined a phrase on the post-game show, new money Lions fans, because that's what these fans are acting like. They're acting like they've never watched a real winner before. Like, they know Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback, but they've never watched every single snap of a season for a Kansas City Chiefs game like you do for a Lions. They've never seen Patrick Mahomes struggle and have a couple down games. And that's what troubles me about these new money Lions fans, is that they don't fully understand what winning football will look like.
Well, thank God the fans do not dictate what the roster is.
And God. There's a difference between struggling and having a few down games and the inability to do certain things in a game, like consistently throw a spiral, move around the pocket, and play in the cold. Like, he has an inability to do those things.
But he has also gotten you to a 9-4 record. They went into Lambeau last year in cold weather and won. Yeah. They won in Arrowhead outdoors.
Throws, it was Arrowhead in August.
Yeah, but still, it's an outdoor game. I mean, the Chicago game was not a good look.
It was terrible.
It was a terrible look. Yeah.
The questions that Spenny brings up about the cold, are those not all question marks that you don't have check marks in your boxes? Goff in a cold weather, Goff in this and that. But right now, here's the thing. Goff is your best chance, your best player right now.
Yes, I agree with that.
And what's your best chance for security, D-Mac?
Well, we all know there's only one. It's Guardian, because you got to let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know the Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number today, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Business, personal. Guardian Alarm don't care. They just want you to call the number, 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out. Winning any games, Pistons. I mean, it's not that hard.
Are we going to go 0-4?
2022?
Yeah. The 2023, the rest of it. Who knows? But Guardian Alarm will be there to save your ass if they do. Guardian Alarm, you look security experts. Tell them Big D Energy. We sent you.
What about Les Stanford?
Well, what about Les Stanford? Because you know what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand it out from more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want. LesStanford.com. Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? and even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
If you've ever been out to eat at a nice restaurant in Metro Detroit, most likely you got meat from Fairway Packing, and now you can take it inside your home and get that same high quality that all the good restaurants in the city have. Prime beef, dry aged beef, and all sorts of meat that you can get. Call them 313-332-5114, or you can hit up fairwaypacking.com. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule. Darren McCarty is on the desk. Michael Gentry is here. Spencer Raxter is here. And I just want to address this comment from the chat. Kevin T. Stick is too into his feelings and looking into the past. Caldwell doesn't matter anymore. It's over. It's done. D-Mac, what's that old saying? If you don't learn from your past, what happens? You're doomed to repeat it. Isn't that what they say?
Yes.
So it's okay to look into the past and understand sometimes you could throw away good thinking you're getting better, but you wind up with worse. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to throw away good thinking we're getting better and all of a sudden it's worse. Because how much panic then would you have on this team if the Lions start regressing because they made a switch from a guy that is doing well? That's all I'm saying. Don't throw Jim Caldwell out of there. But another guy that's having some struggles, and I've just heard the heat starting to get turned up on this guy, and really, I don't know if all of it's warranted, but Ben Johnson. We really got to discuss Ben Johnson in these third quarter woes coming out. We can accredit some of it to Jared Goff, but I think there's blame to go around. I mean, you look at last game, even Jahmyr Gibbs was dropping passes. You know, even Amon-Ra St. Brown was dropping passes last game. But Ben Johnson, has the shine kind of wore off about the sparkle that he was last year as a head coaching candidate? Do you feel that way, Spence?
No, I don't think so. Not with people who know like football. Like he's still the top candidate for a head coaching position when you talk to anybody in the league. The third quarters have been kind of bad as of late, but he's still got a top 5 offense going, and like that's on Ben Johnson. He's designed that offense. It's amazing what they're doing. So he's still a very highly coveted candidate for a head coaching job.
Here's a question. Did any of you guys think back and relate it to missing Ragnow? To missing the second half, just why not come in? Because you established a run and you didn't think in the first half, okay, you know what, you made the adjustments.
Right.
But in that, it just seemed that, and maybe not so much
I'll give him last game.
Play-wise, I would say leadership. I would say the calm in the huddle, the different things like that, because they seemed out of sorts. And to me, in the second half, it looked more like the beginning of last year's offense than it did. But could that have been, did anybody think, because maybe some of these injuries to our offensive line are catching up to us?
No, I mean, I totally agree with that. You can tell when Goff isn't able to sit in the pocket and be comfortable, he's a completely different quarterback, and the offensive line play has had a lot to do with it. But this started even before Ragnow was out. This has kind of been an all season long issue, and it's really strange to me because when you talk about coaching adjustments, halftime adjustments, these guys always come out and they know how to play in the second half. It doesn't feel like the Lions coaching staff is making those proper adjustments going into the second half. How important are those intermissions to kind of rewire, in hockey intermissions, to rewire you going into the next period?
Well, it's so different nowadays, too, because, you see guys in hockey and in football and every sport on the bench with iPads and whatever. You can watch the play and see what guys did. Usually when you go in between periods, or it's adjustments, adjustments to your special teams, right? This is what they're doing on their power play. Maybe they got an opportunity or scored a goal and you have to, change the way that you defend their entry or stuff like this. Or you're going to change, from a diamond where the defenseman's at the top to shoot to two guys wide. You're going to make some adjustments to see what the other team's done. Now in football, I mean, I didn't play, so I mean, I don't understand this, but do you not keep going and using some forms of what's working until it doesn't work anymore, and then you adjust? So, to me, the big thing is this is what I see, not the ability, but the stubbornness to not adjust early enough, or maybe just feeling yourself a little bit too much. Right, not having to. That's
do you think that has something to do with this?
I
say the phrase
nature.
"New Money Lions" fans, but this is also a New Money Lions team.
It's human nature,
right? They're learning how to win.
Where I see this? Where I see the bend and the crack and the armor is our fourth downs. Go look at the way that our fourth down conversion into the first 4 games of this year from last year, and look at from 4 games on. Right? And I don't know what the number is, but I know that we haven't converted enough. We're going for it on 4-10, not taking points. So that falls into feeling yourself or having to learn and adjustments. And so it's everybody. It's a New Money Lions all the way around.
Yeah.
To be fair enough.
Yeah.
So everybody's learning.
And do you think that's what they're going through right now, growing pains? Because that's one thing I have mega faith in believing about this team.
You know what I think they're going through? Everything that every other team in this league goes through.
Learning how to win?
All the good things. Look at Philly. Look at San Fran. Look at Kansas City. Look at what Miami just lost.
But I'm not hearing Jalen Hurts can't play quarterback. I'm not hearing Pat Mahomes can't play quarterback. I'm not like that's the thing. Like when the Lions struggle, it seems like, oh, this whole team sucks. They're never going to win anything. When other teams struggle, like San Francisco loses 3 games in a row, I don't hear people around here saying San Francisco is no longer a good football team.
Well, they get on the quarterbacks. The quarterback's usually the one who's got the gun to the head when things aren't going right for any team, and the question marks. But, again, it's a team game. And can they make adjustments and make plays? Because they've done it. And that's the ebbs and flows. And if you, look at the times where, be realistic, is they executed. They finished off games when they needed to. At some point, I just think that this is the ebbs and flows of the NFL.
Right.
And as a good team, you got to figure out how to not lose 2 in a row and how to dig yourself out of the mud.
Yeah, and one thing that makes me comfortable, and I know I'm a Lions slappy and all that, but have the Lions played good football the past 5 weeks?
Yes. No.
No, absolutely not.
I was in the middle of the
but are they still 3-2 over the past 5 weeks?
Yeah.
And there you go, Stick.
To me, that's encouraging.
That's what good teams
when
do.
you can play at not your peak performance, but still pull out wins and get through that struggle period. Because every team's going to go through lulls. Can you still pull out victories in those lulls? And
Amen.
they have. Now you just got to hope that they start trending up right before the playoffs. Get these 4 games, get yourself right, get some momentum, and then roll into the playoffs. And next thing you know, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
Get yourself into the fight.
That's it.
Anybody can win any fight. David versus Goliath. Doesn't matter how.
We've seen wild card teams win a Super Bowl before. It has happened before. Not saying I want the Lions to get the wild card this year. I'm just saying if you get in the playoffs, you have a chance. That's it. That's the bottom line. So really, as much as I'm discouraged by how they played these past 5 weeks, I'm encouraged that even at their worst, they're a winning football team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
They're one of they're top half of the league for sure. because they find a way to win and execute even when they're not playing well. And that's the difference, because in the past, like looking in the past, the way that the Chicago game started, you're down 10-0, everybody's shutting it down, you're not coming back or whatever. We're all sitting here, well, you're getting the ball in the second half, we can score, to me, it's the turnovers. To me, it's taking...
And those are correctable, right?
To me, it's taking care of the ball. Well, they're supposed to be, but over the last 5...
Those are self-inflicted.
But over the last 5 weeks, they haven't been.
Yeah.
So to me, it's getting back more, like we use the term, you got to kindergarten it down. So it's getting back to their basics. And it starts with not turning the ball over.
Well, and that's honestly last year. Remember when the defense took a major step forward? What did? They stripped the defense down.
Yeah.
They said that it was too complicated early in the season when they started 1-6, and they took a step back, and then they started to take a step forward because it's just simpler.
We saw them doing some of that last week with the defense, at least. Different guys starting. If he got the start over Tracy, we saw Jerry Jacobs get benched through the game for Kendall Vinder and different things like that. So maybe they simplify the offense a little bit, but we'll see. They're going to be at home, so they're in the dome, so you don't got to worry about the elements against the Broncos. But the Broncos have a very opportunistic defense, and they take the ball away a lot.
Yeah, but the crazy about the Broncos, they let up 70 early in the season, and now they got a good defense.
Yeah.
Not a great defense. They have a good defense. You want to know who has good comfort food? It's cold outside, so make sure you get to Big Boy. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods. Did I screw this up?
No,
okay. Okay. Try veal parmigiana and the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. The stuffed potato pancakes. It's your Big Boy on all social media, and go to bigboy.com to find a Big Boy near you.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas to figure out how you can sign up to win.
Went to the Travis Scott concert last night, and they were serving Cintron at the LCA. So when you're down there, make sure you pick up some Cintron. It was a good show last night, D-Mac. Took my pregnant fiance, though, and the baby started going nuts in the womb.
Nice.
Because all the vibrations from the speaker and all that. Yeah, not the place to take an 8-month pregnant lady at a Travis Scott concert.
Well, if you're trying to induce.
That's what she was saying. She thought about that.
You want the baby here by Christmas, right, Stick?
I told her, I was like, if you had the baby here, we would have had to name it Kylie. Or which Jenner girl was he banging? Was it Kylie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have said we would have had. She's like, I'm not
baby mama.
Baby Kylie, born at the Travis Scott show. But no, Cintron was there. It was a good show last night. Welcome to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule. He will be back on Friday. He had some family business to take care of. D-Mac is here. Michael Gentry, Spencer Raxter. My mom's sitting in here too. And you know what? I feel like we're critiquing the Lions a lot, and just to lighten the mood, can we go around the horn real quick? Okay. Gentry, I know your mic's not working right now, so we'll come back to you at another time. But just us three. Say something nice about the Lions, D-Mac.
What? There's a whole bunch of nice things. Thank God we got a winning football team, and you know what? It's exciting and ebbs and flows when we're in the heart of it. I mean, that we all care. And the fact that, I mean, my whole lifetime, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, I have 4 world championships, you know, and since they've had a playoff win.
Jesus.
Not that I have 4.
When you phrase it like that, that's wild.
That's, you know, the reality of it. So we're all starved, and we all, at the end of the day, right, it's because we don't know how to act, right, when it comes to you know, the same old Lions. It's because we all care. It's not because we don't care. So you know what? We just got to sit back, and at the end of the day, right, it's like anything else. Who's leading the charge?
Right.
And you know what? When I look over there and I see Brad Holmes and I see, actually, you know what? When I see Sheila, the fact that I see Sheila and what she's gone through and stuck through and whatever like that, you know, then she's got my attention and what Brad Holmes is developing and stuff. So yes, this is what happens when you have a good team. You care a little bit more. You know, you're gonna lose, you know, some games that you shouldn't, but the fact is this is a legit real team, and it's not smoke and mirrors to the fact it's going away. So I got to trust the fact that everything we're talking about has been talked about already 6 months ago, and the direction this team wants to go is the direction they want to go, and I'm following. So
Spencer, say something nice about the Lions. In the chat, say something nice about the Lions.
The Lions are a very, very good football team. They're going to win the NFC North. They're going to host a playoff game.
All right.
And I'm happy for them.
See,
I'm happy for the fans everywhere.
I believe in the butterfly effect. I believe in putting things out into the universe. And when you say nice things happen. And, you know, I'm just happy that we have a 9-4 football team doing things we haven't seen done in 60 years. And so even though it may feel like this is harder to go through than a 4-9 team for some reason, you know, because you had hopes, you had expectations, and they may not be reaching your expectations. Still a damn good football team that we have here in Detroit. And they've already secured back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in how long?
Long time.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So say nice things about the Lions, but also we can critique them and point out the bad shit that's going on too.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Huh?
Okay. If I said to you before the season, after 13 games, you're 9-4, is anybody not taking it?
No. But the argument is, well, it depends on how they're playing. It's how they got to 9-4, you know, and that's what is really bizarre.
Though?
If the Lions started out 1-4 and we're sitting 9-4 now, everybody in here would be celebrating.
Yeah, well, of course, because you saw the way that you brought up the fact that we know we haven't played, you know, a full game
in a long time.
And still been able to have, like you said, 3-2 record. That's the most part. So now it's time, and this is as a professional sports team, right, where you're looking to the last 4 games. This is when you want to get healthy. This is when, so they're not worried about what's happened. This Denver game sets the tone for the rest of the year to hopefully be hitting on all cylinders going to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what Dan Campbell said yesterday. You know, we just got to win in December. That's it. We got 4 games left in December. We got to win them all. Yep. And with the news we got out of Minnesota yesterday, I think everybody kind of took a
yeah, we'll see.
Because when Dobbs was on fire, Minnesota looked like a damn good football team. Now they're already switching quarterbacks.
Yeah. We'll see.
Do you feel more comfortable about those Minnesota games, Spenny?
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they put Dobbs back in for when they play the Lions, just because how we struggle to deal with mobile quarterbacks.
That's interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised on that. Unless Nick Mullins goes out there and plays his fucking heart out.
I mean, Nate Mullins is going to play like Nate Mullins.
Yeah.
We know what Nate Mullins is. He's another guy that looked good in San Francisco, which any quarterback seems to look good in that offense. A guy that I think we all want to see get going is J-Mo. And it's been a topic of conversation. It's so funny how a guy that gets so little attention on the field occupies so much conversation time. And I think it's because we are all just super excited to finally have that show-stopping guy, you know, that we watch other teams play. They got the one showstopper. J-Mo was supposed to be that. And when you're getting 2 catches a game, you're never going to be that.
Here's the difference. Before, when he wasn't ready, right? When we felt he wasn't mature enough or not showing everything else in practice and we're not hearing the right things, we could accept why he wasn't being used. But now we've seen him and the effort that he's given. We bring up the blocks on touchdowns. We bring up some of the touchdowns, the end around, stuff like this. So now the problem is, Stick, and I think it's apparent, and I think Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell and everybody, is the fact that he's in there for the amount of plays that he is, right? 60 plays, 65 plays, which is starter. Right? And you only see the ball or get targeted twice. That's the problem. Because he's ready, because he's been put in the work, because we all think that he's ready, so we don't understand because no one's told us why. Right before we were told, well, he wasn't ready. He's not up to speed. Doesn't have. But now we've been told. Then we were told he's part of the herd. We've seen what he's done on end arounds. We see how electric he is. Now we don't understand when you need him why you don't go to him. So
yeah, it is really strange because he seems like such a weapon. Spenny, the chat's calling for you to tell me why he's not getting the love.
He can't throw the ball to him.
You think it's a golf problem?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
They can design plays for him to where you can put the ball in his hands. Like, it doesn't just have to be him running streaks and getting the ball out to him. Like, they should design more plays where you can throw the ball to him that's not 40 yards down the field. But
right.
like that play against Chicago where he beat both of his defenders by 4 yards and was running behind the defense, then the ball ends up 6 yards behind him. It's kind of hard to put anybody else on the stand for that. But Ben Johnson could do more, getting him in situations where it's comfortable for Goff to make the throws that is you get the ball in his hands.
Wouldn't it be great if they just had like a Jahmyr Gibbs bust out game, and it's just like, all right, I know Montgomery was hurt, that's why Gibbs kind of got pushed into the spotlight that game, but it's like, all right, let's just feed J-Mo this game and see how that works out for us, at least for the first couple drives. Let's come out. Usually NFL teams script their first 20 plays, maybe 10, 15, 20 plays. Let's make 40% of those plays designed to go to J-Mo, and let's see how this plays out. I would love to see that game plan coming out, because then we would know. And I think that's part of the problem is they haven't over-delivered with him, so we don't know if they need to dial back or need to push forward.
He has never had a game in his career where he's had more than 2 touches.
Yeah, there's been no evolution.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, he's gotten in the game. He got past the early season, talking about the attitude, talking about not being the guy, not showing up, doing the right things in practice. They alluded to it. They never quite pointed the finger, but I think everybody could read between the lines early in the season. And now since he's got in, it's just been like, all right, 2 catches a game. 2 catches. All right, we'll throw him a little reverse. There hasn't been really evolution since they decided to instill him, D-Mac.
No, and I think that's what we're waiting for. And when do you expect to do it? Do you expect it against Denver this week? Probably not. Denver's got one of the worst, rushing defenses. So you think we're going to put the ball. But hopefully, that the most disparaging part that you said is the most touches he's got is 2.
It's
Come on,
weird,
man.
Right?
Come on, you. It seems to me the way that the NFL rules are that a guy with speed and stuff like that, you could scheme him open like we see everything else. Right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Herman Moore is the guy who brought it up, right? Like, why aren't we tweeting this guy like they do? I know they throw bombs to Tyreek Hill.
But they also get him shorts. Tyreek Hill got hurt on a short dump off screen.
Did you see the stuff that he was doing in the last game where he's like crouching down next to the tackle on the line of scrimmage, and then he did it like 5 times.
So they couldn't see him.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That team is so. Mike McDaniels is like, that team is so fun to watch. Yeah. Did you see him coaching the other day in his capri pants with no socks? He looked like he was going out to the club
He's
afterwards.
Got the off-white Air Force on.
And then he rolled up in like his Lamborghini. Like he's one of those perfect like nerds, right? Like he just
and then he just railing on that Breeze vape pen on the sideline.
Like, it's literally like your cousin got a football team. It's like, oh yeah, cousin Jimmy got a football team.
He looks like the guy that works for IBM, making program in the back. He's just sitting at his computer writing, okay, and I'm going to send Tyreek here, and he's lucky here. And
he's an amazing play designer.
That's what I'm saying, play
brilliant.
gimmick. Yeah. Is he the new Is he the young Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
Would you say Shanahan, McVay, or
I
like the
think so.
young offensive guru?
Which were all on the Washington roster at
every
one
single
point.
one of them, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like their coaching tree, that all three of those brilliant minds were there and they let them go.
Which small flex, look at how, and I wonder how it works, right? Because you look at the coaching tree out of Washington and the success they had, and then we look at, like, we always talk about Belichick's coaching tree, that guys can't, get out from underneath them. I wonder if there's a secret sauce or whatever like that. It just makes you wonder
brilliance
how
on the
guys
offensive
can
end.
adjust.
I mean, that's really what they all have in common is the brilliance on the offensive end. All the guys that left the Belichick tree were more kind of Belichick's a defensive coach, you know. So
you know what it is too?
I think that's it.
Look at the evolution of the game.
Yes,
and you like technology.
LaFleur was on that Washington team too.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
unbelievable. Also unbelievable. Tell them about Swiss, and also coming up next. So why don't you guys start thinking about cereal? You'll find out why coming up next.
Top five Wednesday. You got it. But Swiss Insurance first. You have football in the brain. College and professional football this year has been awesome. Fall is also the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Give my friend Mark a call today. Swiss Insurance 248-800. 4177. Go to SwissINS.com.
What about merch?
Well, you can get that at WoodwardSports.com. You get hats, you got beanies, you got long sleeve shirts, you got short sleeve shirts, you got stuff for babies, you got stuff for old people, you got stuff for young people. There's just clothes. And if you wear clothes, you should go buy them at WoodwardSports.com/shop.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Born in a cold winter basement in Detroit, 3 buddies got together. They wanted more out of paper, rock, scissors, so they created this game. It's called Jack Labrador, and they struck gold with it. They got 2 new symbols plus a 3-point play. You want to find out about this game? You could scan the QR code that's above my head right now, or go to jacklabrador.com. Get it for somebody this Christmas. Makes a great stocking stuffer. Welcome back to Big D Energy, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule. He will be back on Friday. Darren McCarty is here. We have old Cotton Hands there in the sound booth. And
Where
then,
did
of course,
you come from? Where did you go? Look at my hands on Cotton Head.
And then we have Spencer Raxter. You guys do a top 5 list.
Yes, we do.
I woke up today by a lovely text from our friend, Mr. Michael Gentry, and it said, send me your top 5 cereals. And literally at that time, we were pouring cereal for our daughter.
That's what it's all about.
And I put that on the top 5. It wasn't the one we this morning, but I got my top 5. Who starts this off?
I think we should do Neal's first since he's not here.
Neal submitted one?
Neal submitted his.
Is there anything Neal Rule can't do?
No, it's absolutely. And anybody who knows is why do we do a top 5? Because the morning show does a top 10, and it's half as long and half as boring, and ours will be even more exciting.
Yeah.
So what did we do? We did top 5 Thanksgiving Day foods, days of the week, months of the year, and now we're on to cereal.
And we got spoons next week.
Where was green bean casserole in the
green bean casserole was up there on a couple people.
Yeah, I think it was number 3 in
Mom makes a killer green bean casserole.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll
those
start with
crunchy
Neal's
onions.
because he's not here. Neal's top 5 cereals are number 1, Cookie Crisp.
Ooh, okay.
Number 2, Count Chocula. Number 3, Golden Grams.
Golden Graham.
Number 4, Cocoa Pebbles. And number 5, Lucky Charms, just the marshmallows. He says it's bullshit that just Lucky Charm marshmallows didn't come out until he quit eating sugar. So,
Yeah, those are all what used to
Just
be
the
his favorites.
marshmallows.
Because I don't see Neal being able to eat much of those right now.
Yeah.
But
Cookie Crisp is
solid list.
very solid
A
list.
lot of chocolate in there.
Yeah, Neal got back in his big boy
Big
bag.
fan.
He was like, oh.
I'll go next.
right.
I'll go next. I think I have a pretty good list. It's kind of designer, but I think it's a good list. At number 1, I have Waffle Crisp. If you haven't had Waffle Crisp, go eat Waffle Crisp. It is amazing.
Is it like a waffle?
Yeah, they're like little waffles. It tastes like waffles.
So way better than the Eggo.
Oh, yeah.
Better than the Eggo Pop-Tart?
Infinitely better.
Really?
Yeah. And then at number 2, I got French Toast Crunch.
That's good.
It's the Cinnamon Toast Crunch brand, but it's the French Toast Crunch version. Also amazing. They're like little pieces of toast. So good. Number 3, Reese's Puffs.
Good call.
Not just the wrap, everything. They're delicious.
Yeah,
I love
they are.
Reese's Puffs. 4, I got Fruity Pebbles because I can put down a whole box of Fruity Pebbles. And then number 5, Raisin Bran Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
Goated cereal. Love Raisin Bran Crunch. That is my top 5.
Solid top 5.
This is a solid top 5.
What about yours, D-Mac? Or you want to do mine next?
It's up to you.
Or Gentry?
Turn me up.
Yeah, let's
Whoa,
dial it up,
there
Gentry.
it is.
His
Wow.
mic's working.
All right, so Cinnamon Toast Crunch, number 1, obviously. Goated cereal, been my favorite since I was a kid. Frosted Flakes, that one is more of an acquired one. I did not like that when I was younger, but it's definitely my top 5 now. Honey Nut Cheerios, just safe bet, always can have it. Apple Jacks, and then Captain Crunch. Can never go wrong with Captain Crunch.
Solid.
I haven't had
Captain
Captain
Crunch, not Crunch Berries?
That's what I meant.
Okay.
You ever had a Captain Crunch like Rice Krispie treat and when they use that instead of the Rice Krispies?
I've had edible Captain Crunch Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, we should have had those before the show.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Did you
didn't?
make your list while you were smoking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, all right. What about you, D-Mac?
Absolutely.
I know you made your list when you were smoking.
I'm always smoking.
That's right. So,
Well,
safe
mine's
bet.
got a story. I'm going to go from 5 down.
Raisin Bran.
The Reese's Puffs just got Count Chocula won because it's been a staple, right? But you got to understand, I was the kid that wasn't allowed to have sugar cereals, right? So all the ones at the bottom. Honeycomb was until I was an adult.
Honeycomb's so
Love
good.
Honeycomb. Honey Nut Cheerios, Gentry, absolute staple. That was the first one that I could convince to go to the dark side, to have a little bit. Shreddies. Anybody familiar with Shreddies?
Is that shredded wheat?
Nope.
No?
Shreddies is a Canadian cereal. It's like mini shredded wheat, but you put brown sugar over top of it. It's absolutely delicious. Canadian staple. And you want to know what got Darren McCarty to the NHL? It was 2 liters and a box of Raisin Bran every day for about 10 years growing up.
2 liters of milk every day?
Yeah. And a box of Raisin Bran cereal because I wasn't allowed the sugar, so I fell in love with the Raisin Bran cereal, and I will always give it its bland props.
I'm not a Raisin Bran guy. I'm a Raisin Bran Crunch guy.
I'm good with Raisin Bran when you pour sugar on it.
Yeah. I like the granola clusters and the Raisin Bran Crunch. That's what gets me.
All right, why don't you throw up mine? Because talk about the granola clusters. That's where number 2 on my list comes in. You know what I'm talking about, Smitty?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I think Honey Bunches of Oats is a completely underrated cereal,
Bunch of
man.
Oats is great.
I will smash some Honey
almonds?
Bunches.
Oh, yeah, you got with almonds.
With almonds,
Oh, yeah.
yes, with almonds.
Yeah, but that's you know what? You got any teeth issues or any whatever, you gotta like maneuver a way around it because you could have a bad bite there into one of those nuts.
So I got number 1, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I mean, I could smash a whole box of that easily. Honey Bunches of Oats coming in at number 2. Lucky Charms, a cereal we were pouring this morning.
Yep.
Pebbles, I just put Pebbles, fruity or cocoa.
fair.
I consider those the same. And then Frosted Mini Wheats, man. I think those are the minis. They got to be the mini ones because you get those big fuckers in a bowl. You can't even like break them down. And then honorable mention I put on there too was just granola. Like it's kind of just like an old man thing, but just straight up granola is delicious.
My honorable mention is the Rice Krispie Treats cereal.
Oh,
I don't know.
So it's like the marshmallow.
It's literally
and you put
little
milk
Rice
on it?
Krispie treats.
Really?
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to check out that waffle crisp.
Well, D-Mac, you will love waffle
Come across
crisp.
that. Big Play Jay in the chat. Woodward Sports, please jump in. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Captain Crunch, all berries.
Grape nuts.
Fruit Loops. Frosted Flakes, Fruity Pebbles. Did you say grape nuts? Oh, you
ever had warm? You ever had warm grape nuts?
Wait a sec.
You warm up grape nuts?
Wait, what?
I don't think I've ever had
How
grape
do you
nuts.
wait? You put
milk in it, throw it in the microwave for about 30, 45 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. Put a little sugar on top.
Damn.
I just voted for myself to have that. I had the best list.
I voted for Gentry's.
Did you?
Gentry's.
All right, so that is our top 5 cereal list for top 5 Wednesdays right here on Big D Energy.
Did we leave anything out?
I don't think so.
I get my 2 honorable mentions would be Oreo O's and Rice Krispie Treats.
See, it's it's sort of like I'm listening to you, and it's the evolution of sports, right? Like, listen, like that. Those really ain't serious. Like, it's sort of like technology. It's like the iPhone 15 of cereals.
But I think Oreo O's and Rice Krispie Treats, those were like early 2000s cereals because I don't see them anymore.
Listen, if Oreo puts their name on something, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, I have never had
So
anything
it's
bad
like
Oreo.
Honey Nut Cheerios or Cheerios, but little chocolatey O's.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that sounds good because anybody else like this, take your list, but I'm a 2 different kinds of cereals into a bowl.
Oh, D-Mac, you get wild.
I do. Crazy. Crazy.
I remember at one point, my dad, I don't know if they make them anymore either, but my dad got this Jif peanut butter cereal. Like, it was peanut butter flavored cereal, like Jif, the brand Jif peanut butter. And it was like little, like, Chex kind of things, but they were peanut butter flavored.
They have the Reese's Puffs.
I'd get really fucking blown. And I'd pour those in there and use chocolate milk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was a hitter. It was good stuff.
I'm just glad none of us put the generic brands on here.
Yeah.
Like the Kroger brands.
D-Mac, I'm telling you, waffle crisp.
Spenny, I'm going. I gotta make a run to BJ's today. I'm gonna go take a look down the cereal aisle.
So good.
Well, after you pound all your cereal with all that sugar, there's one place for you to go. That's Planet Fitness.
Bathroom?
And the bathroom, especially Raisin Bran every day like that.
That's it.
D-Mac be taking monster
Keeping
dumps.
you clean.
$10 a month. Your fitness is essential, so make sure you hit up Planet Fitness and get in there before the New Year's resolution people do. And that means you got about a couple weeks before. So get on in there, start your gym routine, get at it before the New Year's. Planet Fitness, there's one near you.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Talk about Outdoor Equipco, official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel, handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators. The weather's turning, snow's going to come down, hopefully by Christmas, so get your SnowX plows and salters. Outdoor Equipco has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, delivery to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipco.com. Hit them up today.
Welcome back to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule. He will be back on Friday. Darren McCarty is here. Michael Gentry is here. Spencer Raxter is here. And I think this week is kind of cool for the Lions and Dan Campbell. Anytime we were talking about the coaching tree in Washington, Dan Campbell comes from the Sean Payton coaching tree. Spent years with him down in New Orleans, and he gets to take on his mentor this week. And you know it means a lot to him, and you know that he knows a little bit about the guy that he's playing. Like, we got to remember, Sean Payton's the guy that put bounties on people's heads.
Yes.
Bounties.
Legendary.
This man is not going to take it easy on Dan Campbell. If anything, when you're playing against somebody you know, you go a lot harder, right? Harder. And then Danny Rogers had this. We have to be on our stuff. He's going to come here and try to embarrass us, Dan Campbell, on facing one of his biggest mentors in Sean Payton on Saturday. And, you know, both these guys are gamblers. Like, we've seen Sean Payton come out at a Super Bowl and do an onside kick. Like, these guys, you don't know what the hell you're going to expect when the Broncos roll into town on Saturday. But D-Mac, did you ever have to compete against one of your mentors? And what does that do to you as a player?
Wasn't mentors, but when I went to Calgary and had to play, you know, the fellas in Detroit, whether, you know, it was out in Calgary, you know, I remember I actually scored a goal on Manny Legacy on a wraparound, which was cool, you know, and I remember, you know, we got destroyed here in Joe Louis Arena, which was a weird feeling going to the visiting locker room, being on the ice, but I laid malts out in front of the bench. And you play harder, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. I mean, I know Drapes two-handed me, probably still got the scar from it or whatever, but you play, and you know this, you play harder against your boys. It's the same things when you sit around with your buddies and you're playing euchre, you're playing poker, you know. Like yesterday, you saw the Jack Labrador. They were all in here teaching us how to play the game and stuff like that. You're with your boys. You get competition flowing and stuff like that. So this is just on a bigger level because it's respect, right? At the end of the day, it's respect of where you came from. You know, you bring up a lot of things there. Dan Campbell has the utmost respect for Sean Payton.
Right.
So where do you think the so-called gunslinger mentality comes from? I got to think that, you know, his time spent there. Now, also, too, Dan Campbell isn't Sean Payton, so what you do is just the same reason Steve Eisman's not Scotty Bowman or anything like that, but you take what you love about these guys and you try to hone it into how you go about your job. The one thing that absolutely should not happen when you're playing your old team, whatever, is get caught off guard. There's no tricks, no anything like that. You know all those little, all those little signs, whatever they are, like if you're going to try something different, right? Something different. So there should be no sneak plays, no, you know, surprise onside kicks, you know, fourth down, be ready for it, stuff like this. So that's the benefit of knowing sort of where your mentor sort of starts and comes from. So
and it's interesting when it's a coaching mentor, because I understand, you know, when it's your boy and you're playing against each other, like giving more effort in playing one-on-one. But how do you coach harder? So you know what I mean? Like, how do you coach harder?
So there's where you got to realize, right? So the message this week isn't anything else except Dan Campbell going about narrating what we know that out there, and it's for his team in that locker room to look at each other and going, we got to get this for coach.
Right.
This means a lot for coach. So it's galvanizing the whole organization where it's us versus it, because it means something to this man right here, just like the same way as if I'm playing Detroit, my former team, I may throw a couple dollars on the board for the, you know, for a W, but the boys around are, hey, let's go out. You know, this one means a little bit more to D-Mac, you know, like dig down. And
so you think it's a rallying moment for the team behind their coach?
Absolutely.
Could that have come at a better time?
Yeah, like, but no. But you make you make a joke of it, but no, because if you care, you're always looking for these little battle cries throughout the season. Every game means something else, so how do you get up for it? What do I always say about great teams? When are you on the precipice of becoming a great team is when the guy next to you is more important to you than you are to yourself. This is a case where, on the biggest level, they know how much this means to their coach. So, like, go put your work in. Go study a little harder. Plus, you're coming off a loss in your division. Plus, you're coming off a Thanksgiving Day home loss in front of your fans. So, you know what, boys? Time to dig down and forget about whatever else. Doesn't matter how you got here. Go out and win. So, I think that this can add a little incentive throughout the locker room. Now, should it? It doesn't matter. Just hopefully it does, and it can catapult to victory because different guys are motivated by different things.
No, and I love that. I mean, I love the timing of this game, too, with the Lions not playing their best football over the past 5 weeks. It's like, okay, it's almost a win one for the Gipper scenario.
Yes.
You know, like, let's go out there and win one for the Gipper. And it's not like Dan Campbell's dying. But this is an important game, and I love that you brought that up as a player, knowing, hey, this is important to my coach, who I love, who I respect. I want to do everything in my power to get this man a W.
And here's the thing. Dan Campbell's not going around. He's the last one that's going to tell you how important this game is to win it, right? So you're just vibing it. You're feeling your coach. We can see it. We can sense it because, you know, and I love this as he wears his emotion on his sleeve. So you know what? If you love this man and this organization and things have been a little bit rocky lately, this is a great way to get back on track together.
And do you see like the locker room doing a players only meeting for something like this, or
if they need
just
to, or the veterans? You know what it is? You know what this is? Here's the conversation after practice. There's probably, and I'm going to say Goff and Decker and maybe Raw, Montgomery, Anzalone. Maybe they're sitting in the sauna after practice. And Anzo, you know, they're talking about something, and Goff goes, we need this one. This means a lot to coach. And Anzalone's been in the Saints too, so maybe he explains it, or something, and it starts a conversation, and it starts with your leadership to allow to let, because the younger guys, they're not gonna, they got to go about and do it. But maybe it's something that they're in line in practice. Going for, and Amon-Ra says to JMO, goes, man, we got to squeeze every ball this week for coach. You get a chance there. You got to make that play for him. This is, believes in you, and whatever.
Now, conversely, do you think that the Broncos are having the same conversation in their locker room? Because this is the
Broncos
student trying to beat the teacher. Do you root for the teacher that is trying to beat the student in this way? Like, do you think it'll be as galvanizing for them?
No, but they're galvanized in a different way because they're a game back, because Kansas City Chiefs have sort of sputtered a little bit. So they're looking at that they've rejuvenized their season, so they just need a win. They don't care about that. I don't think when it goes that way, you'll be aware of it,
right?
But at the end of the day, it doesn't go to your game plan. The only time it would is if he's bringing up tendencies that he knows about Dan Campbell. So in the same way, I don't expect Denver to be caught off guard by any of our shenanigans.
Yeah. Spenny, how important do you think this is for Dan Campbell to beat his mentor?
I think it is big for him. Obviously, this is the first time he's going to be coaching against Sean Payton. This is a guy who he looked up to, obviously had a lot of respect for. And you always want to go in there and get one off, pause, on the guy who helped you along.
You do.
You want to beat him. You want to do some things like that. So I think this is big for him. It's not just him either. It's him. It's Aaron Glenn. It's Alex Anzalone. It's a lot of these guys who played and coached for the Saints while Sean Payton was there. So I think it's going to be big for the whole team, really.
Yeah, and I know I've said it a couple times, but I honestly, just sitting here thinking about, don't think this could have come at a better time.
Yeah.
You need this win. You need something to rally around because, I was joking around when we went around the room to say something nice about the Lions. But really, the tone over the past 5 weeks has been a little uptight and it's been a little tense. If you can go in, take care of this game, give your coach the win over his mentor, and really prove to yourself that it's a bounce back. You're beating a good team with a solid defense. They started out 0-3. They're 7-3 since, I believe. If you can do it this week, I think it puts you back on track going down the last 4 games of the season. So hopefully this is a galvanizing moment for the entire team. And like D-Mac said, these guys are sitting around in the locker room like, hey, man, no matter what, we got to get this for coach.
Yeah.
No matter what happens on the field, we got to get this for coach.
Yeah, it's big for everybody. And we know, like you talked about, Dan Campbell is such a player's coach. These guys have so much respect for him and love him so much for what he does for them. They want this for him just as much as he wants it. So
it's so nice to have a team like that, because I guarantee when the Patriots rolled into town and
nobody gave a shit. Yeah.
and Matt Patricia was the coach, they were not like, yeah, let's go beat Belichick for Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
I guarantee that conversation did not happen. It was probably, hey, let's let this clown get trounced so he can get out of here sooner.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's the whole thing, right? Where right? Look at that. What you just brought up, where that whole locker room would be opposite.
Right.
Fuck this guy.
Yes.
Right. And so the same way as that we were all like fucking want Patricia to lose, or to galvanize the locker room can be galvanized the other way. And you know it can help you. You need something above yourself when things aren't going well.
Right.
To corral behind.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's been part of the conversation over the past 5 weeks is where do you begin to fix this, right? You know, the Lions are such a complimentary football team. Like, the offense has to be playing good for the defense to play okay. You know, that's what we know about this team. But how do you break out of that cycle? I believe it was John Comiskey that was talking about, like, hey, we're just kind of in our heads right now.
Yeah.
We're in a little bit of a funk. And sometimes you need something like this to break you out of a funk and to give you that momentum back. Because, honestly, I was talking to my mom about this, and she asked me, what do I honestly think is wrong with the Lions right now? Before the season started, what was the goal? Playoffs, right?
Yeah. Playoff win.
The Lions
win a playoff game.
Win a playoff game, yes, but first
win
make
the division.
Make the playoffs.
We thought
right.
After finishing 5-1
Haven't they
last year in the
essentially
division to win the North, to host a playoff
right.
game, to win a playoff game.
And haven't they essentially done that? I mean, there's no asterisks next to them yet, but haven't they essentially got the playoffs? They got to the playoffs, right?
Well,
9 wins.
They haven't yet, but so far right now they're on track. Like
right.
I said earlier,
but
would you take a 9-4 sitting right
yes.
here after 13 games?
Yes,
because where you set yourself up for playoff.
But where I'm going with this is sometimes you set out for a goal, and once you're close to achieving it or have perception that you have achieved it, human nature is to like settle a little bit, right? You're not as hungry. And I think once this team gets into the playoffs, it totally resets their mindset on if they've accomplished anything. Yeah, it does not work that way because it makes sense.
You want it to work that way.
It makes sense that it would work that way.
You got to set it up now. No, because you can't just turn it on and off. And in game...
But a team that's never won before probably doesn't know that yet, right?
Right, so they got to win now and set themselves up for that and not just count on it coming back, to that you can turn it on at a playoff time. I thought you were going to go to you're a human being, so the destination is an oasis. It's about the journey, which means that the more that you accomplish, the more that you want, instead of realizing.
No, I want the opposite.
I'm
like, you're a human being. Once you accomplish a goal, your mindset is not to go as hard as you were to get to that goal, because you know the next goal doesn't matter until playoffs. Like you've already gotten in the playoffs. It is what it is. Not. But you are. I mean, 9 wins.
But you're not. Are you?
9 wins is in the playoffs.
They haven't clinched yet.
How did you start? How did you start this conversation at the beginning of the show? Going, some people are talking that they could go 0-5.
Well, and those people are fools.
Well, I get it.
There's a 90. What did the ESPN come out? 99.7% chance that they.
But they're not until next week. Hopefully but they're not in yet. So we haven't accomplished that goal because you're on the doorstep. I believe, like you do, but technically you're not there. Plus, you haven't won in 31 years, so you want to build that momentum. So the whole thing is you got to galvanize inside there. And if they're in their own heads where it's learning how to handle prosperity,
right?
That's what you're talking about.
No,
learning how to be at the top of the division, at the top of the
Rad
league.
put in here, Stick believes you can flip a switch, and that's not what I'm saying. I don't think this team believes they can flip a switch. I just think when you set your mind to something and you pretty much accomplish that goal, you start thinking about the next goal already, and they're thinking about playoffs.
So you're talking about that they were feeling themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And it goes back to me
it's
talking
nature.
about the coaching,
right?
Talking about the coaching getting a little too, big for their britches and not adjusting at different times where we said that.
So it could just be a psychological block for them right now. Like Comiskey said, hey, we're in a funk.
I think Matt Verville says it the best. It's take care of the ball.
Oh, yeah. It's
that
simple.
Bottom line.
In the NFL, it's that simple.
No, it's a bottom line. Right? And I've seen everybody talking about Goff over 120 games, 112 turnovers, and all this other stuff. So right, but it's one of these things that you have to. We saw Jared Goff when he doesn't throw picks and takes care of the ball. This team wins games.
Yeah.
That's what he.
The offense must win games for this team. The defense will never win games. And if the offense is putting up 13 points a game, this is not a winning football team. That's it. The offense is the star. The defense is the backup. We know this. And so when the offense isn't the star, the backup's not going to come in and win the game for you. That's how this team is set up right now. And it got them to 9-4, but that offense needs to be clicking at all times, just like Premier Pet Supply. They're clicking at all times.
They're clicking at all times, too, for sure, because Premier Pet Supply is by far the best pet store in Michigan. They have over 13 locations, and they are family-owned and operated for over 30 years. Over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Give your pet the best at Premier Pet Supply. You can go to www.premierpetsupply.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Just in time for football. Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called the Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the whiff for the first playoff win in 31 years. A gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you're missing out. Spenny and Stick were enjoying one right before the show. Yep. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check us out online, www.gloriouscanna2ends.com. They are fire.
They are fire.
Welcome back to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neal Rule today. Darren McCarty is here. Michael Gentry, Spencer Raxter, and D-Mac, this comment in the chat from our last conversation. I don't know. It may be a tough question to answer. D-Mac, is Stick's argument equivalent to the Wings winning the President's Trophy but then losing to the Devils in 96?
But that would have been 95.
95, sorry.
No, I don't understand. How
you
is
got
that?
comfortable.
You don't,
I think you got comfortable is the question. Did that team get comfortable?
I don't think it was comfortable, but to the fact of what I remember going in is that we were the big bad red machine and we were supposed to walk all over the Eastern, Conference, Jersey Devils, being a President Trophy and stuff like that. But it was more style of play that we hadn't seen, and they had the clutch and grab, lock it up, and they locked us down and swept us 4 straight. So it was more of an aptitude of execution than it was anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, two contrasting styles.
Styles make fights.
Styles make fights, and they drug us into the mud. But, again, you know what it was? Take heed. So if you're going to compare it to that, we learned, right? So that when we got back there against Philly, right, being the underdog or whatever like that, we drugged them, being the talent team, but we drugged them into the mud. So we had learned, and I think that hopefully that's what we're seeing, if you want to use the analogy, that the coaching staff and the players or whatever are, even though, we're losing some games, they're not playing a full 60 minutes, we're having, turnovers, stuff like this, but they're learning so that they correct it when it really matters. And you can do that inside of the one season. We've seen in the NFL, and we've seen teams do it a lot.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting question.
Yeah,
because that was...
You learn from losing. I'm a firm believer of it. If we don't lose to Jersey, get embarrassed, then I'm not sitting here with 4.
So you would take that loss every time?
Have to. Because I honestly believe if we get to the promised land early, we don't realize how we get there, and we might only have 1 or 2.
And it's crazy how life works out like that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so
like
you have to try, and that's maybe I would go back to and look at history in that sort of way. But you always got to learn the lesson, man. It's like you never lose if you don't lose the lesson.
Well, let's talk some hockey then. I got people in the chat wanting to hear some hockey talk. Did you say why?
No, I'm just kidding.
T-Mac hates talking hockey.
I don't want to get everybody excited.
The Red Wings lost 3 in a row coming into last night. Battle with the Blues. How about that game?
Well, you want to talk about adversity, right?
Yeah.
Because not only losing 3 in a row, also, losing Dylan Larkin, who is on the IR out indefinitely. So
top 2 centers on the IR, him and Comfort.
JT Comfort, obviously, one of your unsung guys so far up and down the lineup, free agent signing you brought in. And then, your muscle and Clem Costin. So losing 3 guys, a lot of the things we're talking about the Lions are right in the heart of the season of what the Red Wings are. It's time for guys to step up. Look at a guy who's been called up, waited his turn, right? Spenny's guy, Jonathan Bergeron, goal in the last couple games. Mm-hmm. Johnny on the spot. Last night we were talking about it before, arguably maybe Joe Veleno's best game in a Red Wing uniform. Yeah. But guys like Veleno and Rasmussen have stepped up. And here's the other thing. The consistency in what we're seeing from Lucas Raymond this year is one of the best players on the ice, I think, every night for the Red Wings. Putting on 10, 12 pounds of muscle. Mikey, I really see it out there. Yeah. He's playing more physical. The confidence with the puck and stuff like that. So, and again, right, we're talking about different guys stepping up. But again, it's the same thing. You got to find a way to win. Now, the biggest thing, I don't know if people understand this, that's Craig Berube, the coach for the St. Louis Blues after the game got fired. That's the 3rd coach this year that the Wings have been a part of a game. And then Dean Evison in Minnesota, right? Yeah. And then the GM in Ottawa, Dorian. So
I wouldn't say Berube was more of his fault. I mean, that Blues roster's kind of rough, and they're going through it too. So I was a little bit surprised that.
No,
I think he's a good coach.
This move ain't on the coach. Yeah. This is shockwave through the roster. But again, look at the St. Louis. They can't really go anywhere. Don't have anything to draw from. They're sort of like there. Yeah. Whereas you look at your team, even though you've gone down and you've lost your captain, your top 2 centermen. You're able, especially on the forward unit at least, plug NHL guys in there. He scored 6 goals last night. Yeah. And you do it the greasy way. You got to kill a penalty in the last 2 minutes. Figuring a way to, get that empty netter, which is huge. But guys are stepping up. So, got to do what you got to do. That was a big win. Because you got to right the ship. You can't you look at teams in this NHL and how tight it is and the parity and stuff like that. You cannot afford to go on a 4, 5, 6 game losing streak because that'll just shoot yourself in the foot.
That's a slippery slope too, and then one turns into 2, turns into 5, and next thing you know, it's like, holy shit, you're the Pistons.
Yeah,
it can happen.
But just see some holes. I mean, the defense struggled a little bit, and they got to stop giving up the shorthanded opportunities. Yeah. I know Husso didn't have the greatest game and has been struggling a little bit, but it seems like every time we go on the power play, we're giving up a breakaway, a 2-on-1 going the other way. So that definitely needs to be cleaned up, and just defense as a whole. I mean, like I said, Husso has not been playing great by any means, but some of these scoring opportunities that you're giving the other team every single time he's in net is not helping his cause either. So his confidence may be down a little bit. I'm really confident that he can bounce back because I think Husso's a solid goalie and he'll be here for a bit. But defense and goaltending definitely got to clean up. But, 3 goals in the third period, you'll take that, and you'll take the 2 points.
And they fought, road game, fought back from being down. And this is what I look for, too. Because I'll tell you this, and more that I see him on the ice, Patrick Kane he's gonna far exceed any expectations. But this is the time, giving him a week and stuff like that, where him and Alex and DeBrincat and this combination or whatever can really carry this team.
Yeah.
Right? Especially on the power play. So I think, and maybe it's another week, a couple more games, give them some time. Yeah. But you know what? Look for them to start clicking. Kane could have 5 or 6 goals already this season. So this is a time when your other top 2 guys out, that you got guys to jump in, but you have the firepower still. This question on this team isn't scoring goals, right? It's keeping it out of the net.
Yeah.
And dude, speaking of that,
you
never want to see a guy with a number 6, because that's usually a shot blocker, come out of the penalty box and just backhand dangle. That was a snipe by Scantella last night. Yeah. But we found a way to win. So, again, just like we're talking about the Lions, stick not playing your best games, but finding a way to win. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, and like you said, that's a sign of a good team, when you can just find a way to win when you don't have your A game on you.
Great point, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. Hope you're feeling better. Robbie Fabry.
Yeah.
Like, it's availability with him. I told you, Mike. Yeah. Hey, have I not been since when they moved for him? It was like, if he could stay healthy, this kid has a nose for the net, and plus he plays that little greasy, grimy game. So, losing Perron for 6 games, and Mike G asked the question, was that about right for that? Pass defender, stuff like this, stick to the back of the head, wrong guy. Yeah, I can accept it. So, move on.
Are you encouraged how this team's evolving so far this season? It's not a finished product by any stretch.
Right. The biggest thing is with the goaltending, and I mentioned it, is that this 3-headed monster's got to probably come to an end quickly. Defense is still a question mark, but I know from talking inside the organization, the development of Edvidson in the minors, getting all the minutes and stuff, it would be a benefit. So if they can find a way to win, then I'm not as worried about the things I'm worried about.
You see how many Kane jerseys have been a LCA? Like how quickly people got those Kane jerseys. Are you all in on Kane?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was all in after Stevie was all in, and especially when you hear about the way that the surgery and how he did it differently than guys in the past, and just from seeing him and stuff like this. Yeah, he's gonna endure himself. He starts scoring goals. That's all that's gonna matter. And you're going to see more Kane jerseys.
Lots of Kane jerseys. Gentry, got anything to add to the Red Wings conversation?
No, just another thing. Veleno has just been playing so solid. I think Spencer brought it up earlier, but he's been playing so solid, stepping in for Comfer and Larkin when we get out, or when they've been out. And I'm just really excited to see once JT does get work back in. Not that Veleno has been playing bad by any means, because he's been fantastic. Just how those 3 work together, Cat, JT, and then Kane. I think they're going to be a phenomenal line. So I'm really interested to see how that boils down.
Well, the best part is, how you're talking about how I'd mentioned Rasmussen's versatility from going to center to the wing. Well, Veleno's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, he's
where
awesome.
You could play him up and down the roster at center or at wing on the first line with Larkin or Raymond, or put him back. It's such a great, not problem, but you see that different guys stepping up with this opportunity, and that's what you need. Yeah. And that's why it's different.
And Veleno's play at the end of that game, that's the one. That's what you look for in guys.
Well, if you want to watch the Red Wings and on their quest for the cup, you can make sure you go to Hamlin Pub. They're all over the place. They're opening them up, I feel like, everywhere, Hamlin Pub. And you can go to hamlinpubs.com right now to find one near you. They have every NFL game, all the Michigan sports that you want, plus great game day specials just starting at $8. So make sure you go to Hamlin Pub, where everyone's a regular.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Feldman Chevrolet in Novi is where we do a live broadcast every other Monday, so stop on by there. And stop on by there if you're looking for a new car, because they have the hookup on everything Chevy. And you got a lease that you need to turn in, they'll take care of that with you and get you in some brand new wheels, especially for the wintertime here in Detroit. You want yourself a good, reliable car to deal with all this salt and potholes that are coming our way. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Welcome back to Big D Energy live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the one, the only, the sexy Neal Rule. He will be back on Friday. And shout out to Neal for getting the call up to the Pistons the other night. That was pretty awesome to listen to Neal call the game on the radio with the Pistons.
I thought he was going to do it.
Gave me a reason to tune into the Pistons.
I thought he was going to do it. Bring us home a W, but not even the power of the rule.
Yeah, the Neal Rule effect did not take place in Orlando, but I'm sure he'll have more opportunities this season. My name is Stick. That is Darren McCarty, Gentry, Spencer. What were you saying,
Sorry, real quick. Let's take a small second. But does anybody see a Pistons victory?
No.
Anytime soon? I know you quit watching, Spenny.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But is there one? And that's the scary part to me. What changes? You know, and
you're hoping, and what they pitching us is that, well, now we have some shooters back. It'll start spreading the floor a little more, and you're starting to see it trickle down a little bit. Like Isaiah Stewart is no longer taking as many threes. Now it's Bogdanovich doing that. So
December 21st, they're playing the Jazz. That could be a win. And then January 1st, they play the Rockets, and January 3rd, they play the Jazz again. If you don't win one of those 3 games, you play the Spurs on January 10th.
What realistically right now is your over-under number of wins?
13.
For the whole season?
And do you remember? Yeah, do you remember, right, when we sat here at the beginning of the year, 27 Vegas, 27 over. Oh my God, the disrespect. Spenny, you're not even giving them half of that. But I think you're right, looking at the way it is. So, what has it? So,
who wins more games, the Lions or the Pistons this season?
It's going to be close.
I think. Hey, you know what? I'd go with they both win 12.
They both win 12. I mean, I'll take that from a Lions perspective all day.
Yeah,
it's 3 more wins out of these next 4 games.
So, Spenny, is there anything? Will a win put you back? Is there anything that you can see with this team that will make you tune in other than your fearless leader broadcasting the calls?
The entire front office being gutted.
Okay.
So you think it's a Troy Weaver problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is at this point.
So it's a Monty up issue.
Yeah. You got to get rid of these guys. You got to clear out the front office, all the scouts. everyone that put together this team needs to be gone.
Is anybody?
It's so crazy.
Are
man.
any of you putting any of this on Monty Williams?
Yeah,
a little bit of it.
Yeah,
I mean, not much though. Like,
I mean, his rotations at the beginning of the year, not playing Javen Ivey as a starter, is very strange to me.
But they won 2 games at the beginning.
You know,
they were 2-1.
I get that.
They were 2-1.
They were 2-1. But I get that. But you know, you go back to even when Monty was in Phoenix, him and DeAndre Ayton did not get along, and I'm not sure if it's just sometimes he doesn't get along with his players or these guys don't fit into his system, but when you're sitting that much talent, a number 5 overall pick on the bench who was almost a 20-10 guy last year, that to me caused a ton of question marks.
So,
but I know maybe you were trying to get Killian's trade value up, which didn't happen, and it cost you. But I don't know. I mean, you have a number 1 overall pick on your team. You have a top 5 player on your team. Killian was what, number 9, 7? 7. He was number 7. Yeah. He had those big men, Wiseman and Bagley, who were top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Like you, according to the paperwork, you have talent.
Well, here's the thing, because the question I always asks, do you like a Sir Thompson?
Yes.
I love
Do you like Cade Cunningham?
I don't like a Sir Thompson shooting the ball.
No, but do you like the talent? Are you happy he's a Detroit Piston?
Yes.
Yes and no. I mean, to me, Asur's a finishing piece, right? You need a stopper, and you got him coming off the bench. Like, that's Asur. The way, was he shooting 11% from three-pointers right now? 10%?
Not great.
I don't want him shooting the ball. You can't be a one-dimensional player in basketball.
So you might not like him, but do you believe in
I like him.
Do you
That's
believe
the
in
thing.
Cade
I like
Cunningham?
him.
Yes.
I believed in Cade Cunningham.
So you don't. So here's the chink. So where's the chink in the armor? That's what I'm wondering, because
the argument right now for Cade Cunningham is that he's the only show in town, so they're triple teaming him. That's why he's not looking like he should.
And he's still going for 20. Like, he's averaging over his past 7 games. He's averaging like 23, 7, and 6 on like 45% shooting, 39 from 3.
Yeah, Cade's good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him be great yet.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm waiting for, because you see guys take shitty teams, put them on their back, and at least make them winners every once in a while. And that's what I'm looking forward out of Cade this year. Like, I get it, you're getting triple teamed. So do some of the best players in the NBA, and they still make it work. So if you want to be considered that, you got to start making it work. Now, is it because he's throwing to Isaiah Stewart in the corner to shoot a 3 and a Stuart Thompson in the corner to shoot a 3 and not an actual shooter that can actually knock down a shot? Perhaps. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. They're on a 20-game losing streak with this guy being your star. 3 years in.
Yeah.
3 years in.
Like, basically 2.
I get it, but 3.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is 2. I understand injuries.
So
but
Stick says front office.
No,
right?
Spenny says front office.
Front office. What has to change? Like, what gives you a glimmer of hope?
I don't have, like, when I heard that Troy Weaver turned down a trade option last year for 2 first-round picks for Bojan Bogdanovic. It was said that someone offered a contending team, so they weren't going to be, high first-round picks, but it's still 2 first-round picks for Bojan Bogdanovic. He turned that down. I heard that and I said he should be fired that day. Like, that is ridiculous. And then they said they're going to hold on to him. They have no plans of moving him at the deadline this year, which is also fucking ridiculous. Well, I don't trust Troy Weaver to make trades to benefit this team going forward.
So if I was going to do a poll right now, right, who do you trust most in GM wise? Then Troy Weaver has just fallen to the bottom.
He's last. Yeah, I trust Scott Harris more than Troy Weaver.
100%.
Can we bring up the owner?
Tom Gores. What?
Can we bring up Tom Gores? I mean, when the Lions were horrible and sucking, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Sheila Ford came down. Everybody clowned her at that moment for talking to the media, remember? And having her guys
that's
back.
when I slid into her DMs.
But everybody was upset that she came down and tried to defend Dan Campbell and what was going on. She did that, and in that moment, the team started getting better. From there on out, it started getting better. We haven't heard a peep from Gores on this.
He's not even there. He's not even at the games drunkenly throwing out T-shirts. Like, if you don't care, sell the fucking team. You have proved you don't give a shit about this team. You are one of the worst franchises in professional sports, probably the worst franchise in professional sports over the past 7 years. Do something about it, change something, or sell the team. It's embarrassing.
I love this comment, though, by Art Vandelay. And I wonder if that's from West Michigan, Art Vandelay.
Art Vandelay? No, he's from New York.
Is he?
He's an architect.
Pistons, 20-game losing streak equals front office problem. Lions, 9-4 equals Jared Goff problem.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Spenny Katz.
Spenny's like, yep.
Spenny Katz is questioning your journalistic approach. He says no one offered Detroit 2 picks.
Yeah.
Documented.
All right. Yeah.
Anyways. Wrong, Cats. But to the point,
if I knew what could fix the Pistons,
to the point
I'd
that
be
they
rich.
came out and said they're not moving Boyan last year, not moving him this year.
They like
My
him.
question to you would be, well, you have to wait and see, because if you can get more at the trade deadline this year, but he's not going to move him, that's an issue.
That is an issue.
Chuck Brewer said Gores talked in the preseason. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm talking about when your team is in a free fall, setting
they didn't
historically
lose 20
bad
straight games in the preseason.
Yeah, preseason. Yeah, of course you're coming in there swinging your dick because you think your team's going to be good this year. But after that, now's the time where the owner's got to step up and be like, hey, guys, this isn't right. I'm going to do everything. Even if they just sell you a pile of bullshit, at least you heard from the guy and know that he's aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's all I want. I'm not saying get rid of Gores. I'm saying, where the fuck are you, dude? I want to hear from you.
I'm saying get rid of Gores. Sell the team. Like, please sell the team. You obviously don't care. It doesn't matter to you. Sell the team.
Yeah, and if the Pistons wanted to look better, there's one thing that they could do. They could all come to Lady Jane's and get their haircut.
They could have had
Absolutely. Yep. Head over to Lady Jane's Haircuts from Woodward, award-winning haircut experience. Register to win. Trip your dreams, all expense paid suite. The 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right. No expense spared for you and 5-year best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts from up with 7 days a week, walking any time. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5-year best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the pinch? Mark White and Associates have your trusted real estate experts, and they're here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Got to give a shout out to Gritville USA in the chat with my favorite comment of the day. Anybody glad to see those 2 teal unis now? Yeah. All you kids, bring back the teal. They brought back the teal and the team that played in them. So I hope you're happy, teal guys. Ryan Lentz in the back and Noah and all those clowns that love the teal. It was the young people that didn't understand what the teal brought. Now you understand what the teal brought. That's why Lindsey Hunter hated the teal, and he played in the teal more than any other player in Pistons history. Lindsey Hunter played in the teal. So, yeah, glad they brought the teal back last year. Really set this team off on some great things. And I see people wanting the Black Lions unis back, too. And those were sweet, but I also remember those teams as well. I don't want them playing like those teams.
I got a question.
That's the problem.
Do we have any video of Hendon Hooker at practice?
I think he practiced this week for the first time. Matt Broder would be probably the one to ask.
I'm just wondering, you know what I mean? Because that's one of the things too. Is that I'm just asking, has anybody seen anything? Because then the more, because this is on the quest. Because we talked about Goff, but we didn't bring up Hooker and his progression. How's he looking? Is he back? You know, sort of on.
I haven't seen any video.
I love the people though, like on Twitter that will post or X, sorry, that will post Hendon Hooker highlights at Tennessee and be like, look at what, and then go look up golf highlights at Cal.
It's pretty good.
College people can do college shit. That doesn't mean they're going to be pros. Like, go look up Johnny Manziel. Guy looked pretty good in college. Yeah. Don't sell me that's why Hendon Hooker is going to be a good pro. And I'm a Hooker guy. You could go back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. 8 Mile, what's up? No, but I like Hendon Hooker. I thought that was the proper draft pick at the proper time for the Detroit Lions because of the position that they're in with a Jared Goff. So I'm rooting for Hendon Hooker, and I think he does have what it takes to lead this team.
So you wouldn't have took Jake Moody there?
Jake Moody, no. I'm not taking a kicker in the 3rd round.
Okay.
I mean,
that's the Neal argument. The guy who sits in that chair said that the pick was wrong and it should have been Moody.
Yeah.
Time will tell. That's a wait and see. That's a wait and see for me. I mean, Moody is a valuable asset.
Your guys missed 2 extra points this year.
I think there was a game Moody blew it for the San Francisco 49ers too this year.
Brother's sending me Hendon Hooker footage right now.
Nice.
What a dog. Matt Broder.
Broder, Lions beat reporter
I got
in the
video
chat.
If you guys...
Yeah, just
we want to see it.
Give some people a taste.
And in the meantime, let us know if you got a question because it's time to ask the chat. And questions, call, do whatever you got to do. Put it in the chat right now. Oh, you got the video, Spenny?
Yeah, he said it's not much, but this is what we got.
It's not much. Woo! Look at those high knees. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Bench Jared Goff immediately.
I mean...
Slinging it. Oh.
Look at that handoff.
Man.
Oh, and a hug.
No shoulder pads.
Back.
No pads on.
He's got
Look
pads.
at that catch. Look at that 5-yard bomb.
It's a spiral.
That's spiral.
Start him. Give him a 9-4 football team. Let's just give it to him.
He's got big.
You're the best, Broder.
This year. Nobody's saying start him this year.
Everybody. There's a lot of people saying start him this year.
Well,
there's a lot of people that were calling for Teddy Bridgewater last game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, and that's the thing. Like that's where you lose me when it starts getting irrational.
Yeah.
You know, like
Jared Goff is our best shot to win this year.
You can tell me Goff is not the quarterback to lead you to winning a Super Bowl. You can't even say he's not a quarterback to lead you to a Super Bowl because he's already done it.
Yes.
And I'll accept that argument. But to throw him away for Teddy Bridgewater and think that that's going to be an improvement is just asinine.
Shout out Broder. He says, love you guys. He won't touch the field this year. Yeah, the only way Hendon Hooker sees the field this year is if in the last game of the season they got everything wrapped up and they rest all the starters.
And I'm okay if he doesn't touch it this year and the beginning of next year. Because we still have Goff through next year.
You're going to have a good old-fashioned
line.
QB battle in camp next year.
Yep. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's when we can go back to leaning on Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to make the right decision.
And if he's ready, then I'm sure a lot of other people would pick up, Goff or whatever else.
And it could be a new offensive coordinator next year too. So we may have a whole situation going on with that quarterback. And would you rather instill a new offense with Hendon Hooker, or would you rather instill a new offense with a veteran quarterback like Jared Goff? That's going to be a question that's going to come up in the offseason if and when Ben Johnson leaves.
Agreed.
Stick, I just want to see Hooker in Week 18. 2 reasons, and I'm okay with that as long as the Lions have locked up their spot.
If they got everything wrapped up and the rest of the starters, that's the only time you'll see Hendon Hooker this year.
Because you're not getting the first round bye.
No.
And why not rest your players 1 week before? Yeah. How do you guys stand on that? D-Mac?
I'd love it.
Do you like resting players before the playoffs?
Yeah.
D-Mac, what do you think about that? Like,
individual basis.
Okay.
It all depends on whatever gets you ready to roll. And usually more veteran guy, if a guy needs some time, but he didn't know himself. So to each their own. Some guys play better when they continue to play, and other guys like myself just when's it matter?
You want to hear something crazy?
Like how? Like
cool crazy.
Cool crazy, not psycho crazy?
No, not psycho crazy.
Okay.
I just see it. Bally just posted this on Instagram. The youngest Red Wings to reach 50 goals, going from the bottom up, Gordie Howe, 21 years, 289 days. Lucas Raymond, 21 years, 259 days. Larkin, 21 years, 233 days. Ted Lindsay, 21 years, 230 days. Marcel Dione, 21 years, 177 days. And then Steve Yzerman, 19 years, 200 days. He got 50 goals at 19, dude. Guy was a monster.
Steve Yzerman, dog. Dog.
Love Steve. I remember when D-Mac brought us up in the gondolas, me and my dad, for that game. We walked out the same time Steve Yzerman was walking out. And, I didn't even want to say it because we just lost in overtime, and he was fucking power strutting. I was like, fuck, I want to be like, hi, Steve. But I was like, no, I'm just going to, if we won, I would be like, hi, Mr. Heisman. Like, awesome. But we just lost an OT.
He was in straight business mode.
Yeah, so I just walked behind him. I was like, oh, fuck, that's Steve Heisman.
Well, speaking of young, I mean, did you guys see that the Lions are the 4th youngest team in the NFL?
Yep.
The 4th youngest team in the NFL. There's room for improvement with all of these guys, and I think that's one thing that we all got to concentrate on is I think we're a little further advanced in the rebuild than we thought we were going to be at this point, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Because Brad Holmes gets the salary cap in 2024. That's when all the stars get to align and we get to bring in some big-time impact players, hopefully, because that's one thing Brad Holmes hasn't really done is bring those big-time impact free agents yet. But it's coming, boys. Tuck's coming. Thank you for being a part of Big D Energy today. My name is Stick. I filled in for Neal Rule. I'll be back tomorrow with my man D-Mac. Of course, we have Michael Gentry, old Cotton Hands, and then Spenny, thank you. Mom, thanks for sitting in today. You guys have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.